We have breaking news as the Cowboys have just pulled off an absolute heist as they have extended DaRon Bland just a couple of days after trading away Micah Parsons. We get to the contract details and all the latest right now on Cowboys Digest. Welcome everybody, I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning into today's show, and this is exactly why you should subscribe. When breaking news happens, we get it out to you. So if you are part of the 87% that are watching these videos that are not yet subscribed, today is the day. Go down there, hit that subscribe button. It is 100% free, and you're going to get daily Cowboys coverage, not just on the breaking news, but on everything in between. Let's go to today's topic. It's DaRon Bland getting a contract. First with the report is Ian Rappaport saying sources, the Cowboys and standout cornerback DaRon Bland have agreed to terms on a big new contract extension as Dallas locks up a key defender. It's a 4-year, $92 million extension for Bland done by his agent Josh Arnold. This deal includes $50 million guaranteed. This is a very good deal for the Cowboys. I like what they have done with this deal, and DaRon Bland, injured last year, played in just 7 games, did not produce the same way we saw him the year prior, obviously in his career year. Even back to his rookie season, it wasn't the same. But if this extension happened, there's obviously something in either Coach Brian Schottenheimer or in the front office that they're seeing from DaRon in the preseason and training camp. And given the fact that he is really the only true healthy quarterback in the starting rotation, I mean, Kaiir Elam is always going to be there as well, but in terms of Trevon Diggs, we don't know exactly how healthy he's going to be on week 1. It sounds like he's going to be he's on the roster, obviously. I don't know how healthy he truly is, though. We'll get the injury report this week and kind of talk about that. But obviously, when a contract like this comes up, especially after trading away a superstar player, you can't help but compare the two. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that DaRon Bland's money came from Micah Parsons' contract. In fact, we know it to not be true. Todd Archer had the report saying that this was something that was in discussions before the team traded away Micah Parsons, so obviously you can't compare that. But there is something to be said that there are going to be Cowboys fans that say, okay, we signed DaRon Bland for all this money, got him an extension. Meanwhile, we just traded away Micah Parsons, who maybe was more key to the defense than DaRon Bland, and the contracts were different, but you traded him away because you didn't want to extend him. Meanwhile, you're extending DaRon Bland. It makes a little bit of a frustrating time for Cowboys fans, but I understand, and I'm going to try and think more positively on this, and, I love that we got DaRon Bland, and I'm excited for what he's able to do. Going back to last season, it wasn't the DaRon Bland we know. Obviously, 7 games coming off an injury, no interceptions, a forced fumble, one of them being recovered as well. 29 solo tackles, not exactly the DaRon Bland we saw back in 2023 when he had a career and NFL high 9 interceptions, 5 different touchdowns on those as well, and then 5 interceptions in 2022. The Cowboys have made a name for themselves having ball-hawking cornerbacks. Both Trevon Diggs and DaRon Bland are very much a ball-hawking duo. They're good cornerbacks. I'm not going to say that they aren't good cornerbacks. However, they are better ball hawkers, which sometimes can create for bad stat lines. Sometimes they're too focused on getting the interceptions, and it allows for their man to be, let's say, a little bit easier on getting the ball, going to the end zone, all that stuff. There was obviously some memes and stats going out there from DaRon Bland, and maybe a bad game he had this past year. We're not going to talk about it, but besides the point, I do think this is a very good contract, especially when you think about DaRon Bland being a 5th-round guy. I mean, this is somebody that you really didn't expect. I'm not going to say expect too much from, because 5th-rounders, they work out, but this is something that was unexpected for how quickly he performed. 17 games in his rookie year, having 5 interceptions, 19 of those being on, getting some extra yards, or rather 19 yards on the final 5 interceptions, and then obviously the 9 interception year back in 2023 with 5 pick sixes. So a very good year in 2023. The injury set him back, and again, if the Cowboys didn't see something in training camp or in, whatever that might be, to warrant this contract, that I don't think we'll be talking about. I think it'd be something else, because obviously last year was not a good year, but it happened. In terms of annual salary and what exactly this makes him, Bland's average annual salary will be $23 million, which will make him the 6th highest paid quarterback in the league. This is going to put him behind guys like J.C. Horn, Sauce Gardner, Patrick Surtain, a couple other guys that I can't really think too much of the names of, but 6th highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Derek Stingley Jr. is also in there as well. I think it's worthy. I think it's worth it, especially when you talk about the year he had in 2023. It's definitely a positive thing, and this is something the Cowboys have been working on for a little bit. Bobby Nonak of NFL.com saying, quote, he had expressed a desire for a contract to come to fruition before Dallas plays in their kickoff game against the Eagles, and the Cowboys made it happen with 4 days to spare, end quote. Now, I do want to focus in on this quote for just a quick second, because if we read a little bit deeper into this, he wanted to have a contract before the first game of the year. Micah Parsons also had some wants to have a contract before certain timelines, and the Cowboys didn't get it done. I'm not saying this is a comparison, but I will put it out there that maybe this contract was in the works before Micah Parsons. We know that for sure. But they got it done right after it, and I think that might have been somewhat of a fire extinguisher type, where you get it out here and say, hey, look, we got this guy. Like, it's not going to fix the mistake, and it's not going to make it any better that we traded away Micah Parsons. But I think for the people who are out here talking about, they're not going to follow the team, they're not going to do this, they're upset, they're pissed off, this is something that will hopefully lighten them up. And, it's football season. Like, obviously it stinks we traded Micah Parsons. I'm not excited for that. But I'm still excited to watch the Cowboys play the Eagles on Thursday night this week. I'm still excited to live stream with all of y'all. I'm excited to be here and really just kind of get back into the real NFL football season. Like, this is something that can get the excitement kind of back up in the air, and I'm hoping it does for a lot of different Cowboys fans. Some stuff to talk about here with the contract. Bobby Nonak of NFL.com again saying, quote, Bland has 14 career interceptions to go along with 164 tackles, 27 passes defended, and a forced fumble. He notably missed the team's first 10 games last season due to an injury and did not deliver any interceptions through 7 contests after putting up a torrid pace of picks across the first 2 campaigns. But Bland has undeniably outplayed his expectation as a 2022 fifth rounder, end quote. And that is also a big thing, especially for a guy like DaRon Bland. People want to say, oh, when you play in the NFL, no matter what pick you are going to try and get the money that you are deserved. I think that's true to some extent, but I also think there is a little bit of, I was a 5th round pick, and I have a chance right here to be the 6th highest paid cornerback. Yeah, he could say I deserve more, bet on himself, and try and play the season out and try and get more money. But he could easily have done that. But he knew that I literally didn't have a great last 7 games. They're offering me the money that I probably would have wanted. I think this is probably what he was asking for. Why not take it? So I think on both sides it really works out. DaRon Bland gets the money he's been wanting, and the Cowboys, they lock down another cornerback. Brian Schottenheimer was actually at the presser when this happened, and he got to be asked about it. He said this, quote, so well deserved. I'm thrilled for him and his family. He's a huge, huge piece for us. He has incredible ball skills and instincts. DaRon has always had the ability to process things quickly, end quote, which as a quarterback is exactly what you expect. I love the play of DaRon Bland. Maybe last year didn't go as we expected, but I think part of that was there was not good motivation around the team. The vibes around the Cowboys were off. It just was not a good season all around. When you win 7 games, sometimes, especially for injured players who come back already knowing that they're in a bad spot and the team doesn't look like they're going to make the playoffs, you tend to not play as well as you probably should. So I think with this year, obviously there's a lot higher expectations. I mean, I don't know how high it can be. We know 7 wins, but you're going to be doing better than last year. At least that's the hope. And so there's a little bit more hope that he'll go out there and play to a better caliber. And like I've been saying, this contract extension obviously has been talked about for the past couple months and is not something that would have been talked about if they did not see growth in DaRon Bland in this offseason. Did not see the DaRon Bland they saw 2-3 seasons ago for his rookie year and his sophomore season with the Dallas Cowboys. So good news on the contract. Everything is great there. If you are still here in the video, I want you to get down in the comment section and rate this DaRon Bland extension. Would you rate it an A, B, C, or D, or F? Let me know down there. Grade it, and I'll read all the comments, obviously responding to everybody. So we appreciate each and every single one of you watching, and we'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest. Peace out, guys.